Do you believe that you can heal yourself? Too often, we give our power away to something outside of ourselves, and rarely, if ever, trust and tap into our innate healing power and intuition. Everyone has this capability to heal in ways we never thought possible. It's your sovereign right to claim and have true health and lasting wellness. Now, here is the host of the Dr. Dolores Show, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in our amazing universe. Welcome to another episode of the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And you're listening to our show on Inspired Choices Network. And today, our episode is dedicated to uh, the serendipity of living in sync, absolute alignment. So, when we think about absolute alignment, it's like I kind of give the analogy, you have Swiss cheese, there's holes in it. It's like when all the holes of the Swiss cheese are aligned, meaning that you could see right through the hole. It's like that's absolute alignment to me in the definition of that. And that's when the body, mind, and soul all kind of comes together and just flows. It's like sometimes you give the expression, it's like when things like this happen, it's like you can't make this stuff up because literally you can't. It's when there's like a bigger power or something else is going on that we can't see or is tangible we cannot feel or intangible we can't feel. It's like this is when those moments happen where everything is in the flow, it's working, and then all of a sudden we put the brakes on and start analyzing it and we pop out of it and we kind of create our own little hell on earth, if you want to call it that, because we've just taken ourselves out of the flow by trying to figure out what the flow was. It's kind of funny how us human beings are that way. We just are very curious and we figure that if we could figure out how to do this, we could just replicate it again. Well, the big cosmic joke is that is that there's really nothing to figure out when you're in the flow of things. Just continue to allow yourself to um, go in that direction without really feeling as if things are too good to be true, or we make all these things up, and we have a story to tell about that to justify its existence, and we need to just throw that out with the bathwater, so to say, because there's nothing to figure out, there's nothing to justify. What if life was supposed to be that way? And we've been duped into believing that there's got to be some logical way to figure things out to make things happen. I think that's what our big problem is in our world today, is that we are trying to figure things out, and a lot of times when we try to figure things out, we make things so complicated, we add more and more layers to things just to justify its existence, when in essence everything is very simple and straightforward. And for some odd reason, us human beings seem to think and feel sometimes that it can't be that easy. But newsflash, it is. So when we talk about serendipity, it's like I said, it's like those aha moments. I call them God moments, where something is happening behind the scenes to align everything up for us. And we just actually just show up and it's there. It's really that simple. Many of us have a tendency to be in our heads all the time, thinking and figuring things out. And the most important thing I could share with you is to integrate getting your mind to drop from here down to here in your chest, your heart area. When you're in your heart space, you're in the present moment. You are actually in your body. You are physically planted in your body. And when you are in your body versus being in your head, there is like, it's like a 180 I'm going to say 180-degree difference. And it's like if you look on a continuum, when you're in your head, you are in your head thinking about yesterday, worrying about tomorrow. When you're in your body at the other end of the continuum, you are in the present moment. It's not about doing this or that. It's about merging the two together so they play nicely in the sandbox. And they are, because everything is necessary, it's sometimes our interpretation of it. Life is not black and white. There's all these shades of gray in between. That this is what enriches our experience of being a human being. So when we are in those serendipitous moments of life where you're living in sync and there's an absolute alignment, there's more going on behind the scenes than you could imagine. Just because we aren't able to see it, feel it, or even um, sense it does not mean it does not exist. It does. And this is sometimes how miracles happen, or alignments that we aren't privy to because we aren't tapped into our sensitivity. And when we start being more physically present in our body and we're able to maneuver that and embrace that and have it be part of who we are, this is where all the parts start lining up. And when they start lining up, this is how you could start having a magical life where everything is in alignment and things are going to be a lot more easier for you because you're allowing yourself to step into the flow instead of trying to make something happen and pushing a boulder up the hill. So when we, look at some things and serendipity and stuff like that, sometimes setting intentions are, I want to say, the foundational piece. Because if you don't have an intention, you're flying all over the place and you're not really grounded in what you want to create. So, and if you have any doubt about that, how is your life working? Are you noticing that, maybe you're not creating the things that you would choose to create because maybe you don't have a very clear intention of what you would like? It's like putting an order in at a restaurant, okay? You go to the diner and you want a cheeseburger and you want extra cheese and maybe some bacon, you put your order in. You have intended of what you want on that hamburger. So when you go to a diner and you're not really clear, I want a hamburger. So they just give you whatever's on the menu. And, you weren't specific enough saying that you wanted to add, your bacon or extra cheese because you didn't set that intention. You just got the standard hamburger. So what I'm saying is that be more precise in what you want to create. Set your, make sure that your words are in alignment with what you want the end product to be. And it's about really planting in fertile ground. What I mean by fertile ground is that when we are in alignment with our thoughts, our words, and our actions, it creates a fertile ground for um, serendipitous events to occur. So, how are you planting your seeds of intention? Pay attention to that as well. And it's about allowing ourselves to be open to receive as well. How many of us want things, but we're closed off to receiving? Something to maybe look at within yourself, because when you are blocking your openness because you're either resistant or you're, probably overloaded or overstimulated, sometimes this causes our bodies and our energy field to constrict, and it's not allowing the openness that's going to allow the flow to come in. It's almost like the analogy of a horse with blinders on. When we have set an intention and we just think this is how it's going to happen. It's got to happen in this particular way. That's where we are being very restrictive in the possibilities. When a horse has blinders on, it's only seeing right in front of us. And being focused is a good thing. And it's also important to keep the openness there because our intention of how it's going to create may be not how it's going to create at all. And the loveliness of the universe is that the universe is going to inspire you and also keep you in awe because it might come about a different way that you never even thought about. And it might even happen almost spontaneously that it was easy and effortless. What a contrast to what it was like when you have the blinders on and trying to make something happen and controlling it with your mind. When you're in your mind, you step out of the openness. When you're in your physical body, you are in the present moment. And this is where you are open to possibilities. So keep that in mind, the setting an intention and being open to the possibilities of how it's going to manifest as well. And the importance of trust. I think trust is so essential right now in humanity's evolution because there is so much stuff to be questioning, so much stuff to not really realizing why things are happening the way they are and trying to figure out why. It's about realizing that there's a bigger picture going on, and we don't have, like I said earlier, privy to seeing what's behind the scenes in order for things to come into alignment for our specific intention. So, trust is a big word and it's an important word in these days, time and space. I know every year, instead of setting, what do you want to call it, New Year's resolutions, I pick a word for the year. And it's just so happened that last year, for 2024, my word was trust. And I kid you not, talk about the universe will delight and inspire you once you set these intentions. I was stopped at the stop sign, and in front of me, the license plate said, Trust Life. You can't make this stuff up. When things are in alignment, you're going to be getting signs from the universe because the universe is co creating with you and wants you to know that you are never alone. Sometimes we feel like we are alone, but that is not true. And wants to say, yes, this is the right direction. You're heading in the right direction. It gives us signs. Oftentimes we have to be quiet enough to witness and experience those signs. Too often we are just sometimes in our heads and we pop out of our physical body and we're going about our life worrying about this and trying to contemplate that and figure things out. When this happens for you, I invite you to take a deep breath and just ground yourself back into your physical body. And just, if you need to, just repeat the word trust and trust and trust. There's nothing to figure out, people. There's nothing to do. It's all about just having a lot of blind faith and trust and just allowing the process to unfold the way it's supposed to. So, with that in mind, practice your trust muscle. It's I think it's an essential part to it, and it's essential part to the whole synchronicity of how everything unfolds in our lives. So we're getting ready to go on our first break, and you're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network. And I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And we're talking about living in sync with absolute alignment. So join us when we return from our break. See you then.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Ready to break free from complacency? Welcome to I'm Awake, Now What? Your monthly invitation to embrace conscious living. If you've been feeling lost or stagnant, this is your chance to awaken your purpose. Join our transformative conscious wake-up office hours every month for guidance and self-discovery. Experience the power of clarity and focus as you navigate towards holistic healing and empowerment. Don't just survive, thrive. Sign up now and unlock a wealth of benefits, including enhanced well-being, stress reduction, emotional healing, and connection. It's time to ignite the flames of purpose within and start your journey to a fulfilling life.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back, everybody. You're listening to another episode on the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network. And we're talking about living in sync with absolute alignment today on our show. And I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino myself, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. So before the break, we were talking about those serendipitous moments that happen in our life where everything is just like aligned. And it's like those responses that you say, you can't make this stuff up because you couldn't have orchestrated it any better yourself than the bigger picture and the universe has. So know that we're talking about having a lot of blind faith and trust these days. And for some people, it's a stretch. And it's important, when we set an attention, it's just being open to receive what's happening and keep yourself open without an agenda how you think things are going to manifest or happen, because that's where you rob yourself of the joy of the serendipitous moment. Okay. So, let's talk a little bit more about the whole connection to synchronicity and stuff like that, and the benefits of serendipity and stuff like that. I think some of the coolest benefits, and I think each one of us has had those moments where you are like in awe, like, how did that just happen? And it did. It could be like meeting somebody, a friend that you got introduced to by somebody through a networking group, for those of us who are in the business world. And you start a conversation, and next thing you know, 4 hours go by and you're still chatting with this person, and you just realize that you probably just made a friend for life. Those are like serendipitous moments where it's almost like they're unplanned events that happen for where people are, I'm going to say, it's almost like it was supposed to happen, but if you couldn't have planned it any better if you tried to plan it yourself. It's just like it just spontaneously happens. So I feel that when we're in the universe, what we see is like the physical stuff right here, like, our bodies and the room that I'm in, if you're able to see it. It's just like it's all energy. And yet, the things that are behind the scenes, how everything I feel is in our energy field already that we want to accomplish and have access to in our lifetime. I think the key principle is that where our frequency and vibration is at that current moment. And that's something to think about. We talk a lot about energy and vibration and frequency on the Dr. Dolores Show because I think it's really important because everything is energy. It's when we're able to see the denser versions of what energy is. It's like the physicality of a person, the concreteness of like what an office looks like. Those are denser demonstrations of energy. And less denser demonstrations are our thoughts, beliefs, our intentions, okay? The waves that go out into the universe. And we set intentions all the time. We're incredible manifestors. If you doubt that, see what's in your world right now because you have created that for yourself, either consciously or unconsciously. No good or bad, no judgment here. It's just what it is. We're manifestors. So when you're able to tap into the essence of what is going on behind the scenes or tapping into what is in your energy field, this also is a way where serendipitous moments happen. And some people say, well, how do you access those things? Last week we had an episode on the Dr. Dolores show that moving forward is moving upward. And what we're talking about here is this. As we are moving forward in our lives, we're actually moving upward energetically. Okay. So what we see here is really dense, but as we access and go into a higher frequency, things become less dense and more fluidity with more fluidity and fluidness. And so like our thoughts and our beliefs, they're there. Sometimes some of the things that we want to manifest are there as well. Yet we're vibrating here, and the frequency of what we want to manifest may be up a couple of notches. So how do we create that, or how do we raise our frequency to go to a higher level? Key gateway thing to remember is to be in your physical body, and the gateway to get to that is to do some type of mindful activity. And I've talked a lot about this before on my shows as well, and I'm just going to repeat it again for the new people that are listening, is that mindful activity is something that you could do that you enjoy doing where you lose all sense of time and place. We've all had those moments in our lives where you get so wrapped up in doing a project that you lose hours go by and it seems like 5 minutes just went like that. It's a timeless concept. So for every individual, mindful activity is going to be different. It could be as formal as doing, structured meditation, or it could be doing a project, a craft, going gardening, maybe even walking your dog, or even going for a walk in a park, or if you live near the beach or in the mountains. Those are all mindful activities. The key thing to remember, a mindful activity is anything that is going to allow you to lose all sense of time and place. Okay. Now, when you're in that frequency or in that state, you are in the present moment. When you're in the present moment, the past doesn't matter, the future doesn't matter because you are creating from that space. When you're able to create from that space, you're also able to hear things, the subtleties of what the universe may be wanting to share with you. It's that inner voice, that intuitive hit, those God moments, those God sparks. It's like that little voice that says, you know what? Why don't you go look at what's going on in the backyard? You follow that and you go back there, and there's this animal that's in your yard that's a rabbit that's just enjoying itself sunbathing on the pavement. It's hard to believe that they sunbathe, but they do. And it was just like, it allows you to see something from a different perspective, where if you didn't follow that hunch, you would have never had that experience or that opportunity. And it could be with anything. It could be with just, getting a hunch that you needed to go to the post office for some odd reason and you don't know why, but you go anyway, and you end up running into somebody that that may have another piece to your puzzle of your life. So it's just trusting the and being led by your intuition of what's your next step and trying to figure it out. So what's really cool too about that is you're able to just be in the flow. And when you're more in the flow, this is where the opportunities for those serendipitous moments are that are going to be coming through, that are aligned, because we don't know what the alignment is until, you know, because nonetheless, some of us can see that. If you're clairvoyant, you may have access to that, but many people, those gifts are still being developed within themselves, and they're gaining access to that because the more time you spend in your physical body, you're going to become more in tune, more intuitive, and more grounded in your body and in this reality, and be able to function better and know what is your next steps that you need to take for yourself in your life, and you really trust the wisdom that you're going to be getting as well. So when you are in the flow, okay, so your life is up, all your life is here in your little cocoon or pod, if you want to call it, of everything that's possible for you and how you tap into that. I think I'm going to share a story that may really drive this home a bit. For many of us, I'm a big rock hound. I love collecting crystals and gemstones, and have done so my whole entire life. And it always is so funny when somebody says, "Oh, we found this new gemstone. It's new to the earth." And I'm thinking to myself, scratching my head, and it's like, well, not necessarily so. It's always been here. It's just vibrating at a higher frequency that humanity has not evolved enough to tap into see it. So now we're seeing it because our our frequency and vibration is high enough to see that. I feel that there's a lot of things in life that are very similar to this. So if there's something in your life that you want to attain, but it still is not coming to manifestation, there's many things that are happening. The alignment might be off. Maybe your self-talk is off. Maybe your body needs to rest. If you're having problems with being under a lot of stress or toxic stress, you need to look at deregulating your nervous system so that you're going to be able to function better. But also, you're going to be able to tap into the wisdom that you've gained from all of these experiences as well. When you're able to work on you and heal what needs to happen within yourself, it's amazing how you could quickly raise your frequency and vibration. A lot of times, the old patterning of things that have been in our lives that have been driving us unconsciously need to come into consciousness so they could be dealt with and moved out, so that you're either transcended, transmuted, or transformed and healed. And so they go on to their next adventure, those things. And it clears up a bunch of real estate that allows your vibration to flow. I have to reiterate this to many people. There's no bypass. There's no free pass. There's no way. Raising your frequency is not moving around it and not dealing with it. It's moving through it and upward. So, and it's not for the meek, it's for the brave of heart. It's going to take courage. You have to be ready to do the work, and just know that the rewards are going to far exceed what you could ever imagine. So raise your frequency, do what you can to heal yourself so you become into more alignment with where you want to go for the life that you are ready to create for yourselves. A lot of us are, it's not a one and done. It's a journey. It's not a destination. We're constantly growing and evolving. And as we grow and evolve, the big joke is like, oh yeah, I'm going to sleep when I get to the other side. Well, let me tell you something. Once you get to the other side and you pass away, you're still doing work on the other side. So know that we're constantly learning and growing. We come to planet Earth to get our PhDs in being human, and we're experiencing everything that a human being is going to experience, the highs, the lows, the duality, and also the alignment and our creations. Now it's time to align our creation, align everything in ourselves so we are able to manifest and create with more serendipity and with more absolute alignment. So you're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And we're on the Inspired Choices Network. And when we come back, we're going to talk just a little bit more about alignment and also do a meditation to wrap everything and put it in a container for you so you're able to experience that for yourself. So stay tuned and we'll see you when we get back.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Ready to break free from complacency? Welcome to I'm Awake, Now What? Your monthly invitation to embrace conscious living. If you've been feeling lost or stagnant, this is your chance to awaken your purpose. Join our transformative conscious wake-up office hours every month for guidance and self-discovery. Experience the power of clarity and focus as you navigate towards holistic healing and empowerment. Don't just survive, thrive. Sign up now and unlock a wealth of benefits, including enhanced well-being, stress reduction, emotional healing, and connection. It's time to ignite the flames of purpose within and start your journey to a fulfilling life.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and we're on the Inspired Choices Network. And today's topic, we're talking about living in sync, absolute alignment, where those little serendipitous moments that happen that you say to yourself, you can't make this stuff up the way things kind of happen because it's so effortless and it flows. And we think we could figure it out, but it has nothing to do with us. It's like the universe is kind of orchestrating things behind the scenes. So, you probably heard in the commercial break there about a program that I've put together I co-created it with a good friend of mine Cozy Stentakis, who is a body talk practitioner and also a Reiki master. And with my energy healing and her tools as well, we've created a program called I'm Awake Now What? And what that's all about is how many of us have woken up from this deep slumber where life had been working really well for you, and then all of a sudden it's like somebody pulled the rug out from underneath you and life is not working as it used to. it's what we call like a spiritual awakening, where looking at the external was the norm, and now you're realizing sometimes you have to come within yourself, and life is different, and have a relationship with yourself. And this is about really learning how to have a relationship with yourself, learning how to heal, learning how to trust your intuition. And it's a community program and a community format where we meet once a month, and it's got resources and a community of like-minded people that could assist you on your journey, because it's not about being alone now. More and more people are waking up and realizing that, you're either going through major transformations and you have no reference point for you. So this is to offer you clarity, tools, community, and a place where you could call a second home with like-minded people. So if that's interesting to you, I invite you to go to my website, drdoloresfazzino.com, and there'll be a little slot there on the main page where you could just press "I'm awake, now what?" and just go there and sign up, and we'd love to have you. So, like I was sharing before we went on break, I always like to put together a guided meditation for people in our third segment. For me, it kind of ties everything together and gives people a taste of what it's like to, number one, be in your body, but also to possibly experience what the topic is about. And today we're talking about absolute alignment. So with that in mind, I just invite people to get ready to go into a meditation. And, I always say to people, do what you're comfortable. And if you can't visualize what's going on, can't see it, just know that it's there without trying to figure it out. Because I think some people just beat themselves up because they feel like it needs to look a certain way. Just listen to the words and just allow yourself to experience and have an experience. Okay, those are my words of wisdom to add to the pot. So I now invite you to just find a comfortable spot, either to sit or lie down, your choice, and just be comfortable. And we're just going to focus on our breathing right now, because our breath is so important. When we're able to take a deep breath and inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth, we're able to allow this air to come into our body and to move into our belly, and just allow it to exhale and remove itself. And just one more time, take a deep breath in and slowly blow it out. And just allow your breathing to return to its normal inhale and exhale patterning. And it's amazing what our breath can do, because it also allows our body to relax. I think oftentimes we forget to breathe. We're either shallow breathing, holding our breath, and it's really essential when you're going through anything and you want to relax. Just take that deep breath in and take another deep breath in and slowly blow it out. And just allow yourself to feel your feet upon the floor of the room, and your bottom on the seat or on the floor, on the bed, or wherever you're sitting, and your back supported against the back of the chair or the floor. And just allow your arms to soften and relax. And just begin by focusing on your body, and just notice the sensations in your feet, in your legs, in your torso, and your arms. And feel the weight of your body against the surface that you're resting on. And just allow any tension to melt away as you breathe deeply. And once again, just shift your attention to your breath and notice the rise and fall of your chest or abdomen. Let go of any thoughts or worries that may arise, and just simply observe your breath without judgment. And as thoughts arise, gently bring your attention back to your breath. Imagine yourself surrounded by a soft golden light. This light is a symbol of the interconnectedness of all things. Feel this light entering your body and filling you with a sense of peace and harmony. And just visualize this light connecting you to the earth below you and the sky above you. Imagine your body, mind, and soul coming into perfect alignment. Feel a sense of wholeness and unity within yourself. Allow any resistance or disharmony to dissolve as you embrace this state of alignment. Breathe deeply, allowing this feeling of alignment to settle into your being. Take a few more moments to savor this feeling of interconnectedness and alignment. And know that you could return to this at any time. I invite you to pick out a color, and whatever color that is, the first thing that comes to mind, to stamp this experience with. And when you're able to stamp this experience with a color, you could return to this moment by just looking and remembering and feeling the color. So allow yourself just a moment longer to experience this. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes and return your attention to the present moment. And carry this sense of alignment with you throughout your day, knowing that you are connected to everything around you, whether you could see it or not. So welcome back, everybody. And we're getting ready to go on our next break. So you're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. on Inspired Choices Network. And today we are talking about living in sync, absolute alignment. And when we come back, we'll talk about some takeaways that you can do to allow you to have absolute alignment in your life. See you soon.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Ready to break free from complacency? Welcome to I'm Awake, Now What? Your monthly invitation to embrace conscious living. If you've been feeling lost or stagnant, this is your chance to awaken your purpose. Join our transformative conscious wake-up office hours every month for guidance and self-discovery. Experience the power of clarity and focus as you navigate towards holistic healing and empowerment. Don't just survive, thrive. Sign up now and unlock a wealth of benefits, including enhanced well-being, stress reduction, emotional healing, and connection. It's time to ignite the flames of purpose within and start your journey to a fulfilling life.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that meditation in our last segment. You're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, and we're on the Inspired Choices Network. And we've been talking about absolute alignment, where everything kind of lines up and it's very serendipitous. And the word that comes to mind is like, you can't make this stuff up because it's so magical and you could not have created it better yourself. So that just goes to prove that we're so minute compared to what is possible in our universe, as long as we get out of our own way. Key point. You have to get out of your own way and allow yourself to raise your frequency by working on yourself, thinking, doing the healing work that is necessary so it clears out that energetic baggage that's holding and weighting you down and keeping you vibrating at a lower frequency. So, we enjoyed a meditation a little bit, and I love doing meditations in our format because, like I said, it just has a way of tying all the loose ends of maybe some concepts or some stories that I share, and allows you, the listener, to have an experience. And I think it's so essential that people have an experience so they're able to completely understand, what this is all about and really integrate it into their body, mind, and soul. So, some reminders as we're, going into wrapping things up here. Some of the key takeaways for alignment is make sure to cultivate mindfulness. Remember, the key is being in your body. That's going to allow you to experience more serendipitous and more absolute alignment. So, and like I was sharing earlier, mindfulness is I call it the gateway to being in the present moment. And it is anything that allows you to lose all sense of time and place. And we've all had those episodes where we do something and all time is lost. That's a mindful activity. And it's going to be so unique to each one of us individually. So I invite you to do the things that follow your heart with that. And whatever you love doing, do more of that. And trust your intuition. not only just trust your intuition, but just have a lot of blind faith and trust now. Trust in the universe that sometimes when things aren't manifesting as quickly as possible as that you would like, there's nothing wrong with you. It's about divine timing. There's so many moving parts behind the scenes sometimes that sometimes it's just takes a while for things to get aligned in order to happen. What you can do to assist that is to continue to work on yourself, continue to raise your vibration and frequency, and to listen to the inner wisdom that you are gathering from your higher self. Also, remain open. Look at possibilities, be willing to change, be teachable. I love that saying. Let go of your expectations and just allow yourself to experience infinite possibilities, because there's not one way to get to the end result that you want to create or the intention that you're making. There may be a plethora of different pathways to take, and maybe those different pathways have other puzzle pieces for you for other things in your life. You have to look at it from that perspective, because everything is more interconnected than you'll ever know. So, and let go of, your expectations, like I was saying. Just there's a saying, be delighted in the surprise, because the surprise may be something that you could have never imagined for yourself. Grounding yourself is important. So whatever you can do to stay in your physical body, please do that, because that's essential as well. And that kind of segues into something that I have available on my website. I have a guided meditation that allows you to be in the present moment. We actually ground in 3 different dimensions. It's 5 minutes long. It's free. Sign up for it. Listen to it daily. You won't be disappointed, and it'll definitely assist you, because the more you practice, the more you'll get, the more you will grasp that concept, and it'll be part of who you are, innately as well. And just be grateful for things. I know there's a lot of things people are going through right now, and some of them can be really challenging. And just the gratitude just is the ability to be thankful for the things that you have, not focusing on the things you don't have. Focus on the things that you have, because it's a vibration. When you're grateful for things, more and more of that's going to come forward and assist you. And make sure you take care of yourself. Rest well, eat well, feed yourself, water yourself. It's so, so important. And some of those, what I really want to leave you with all of this, you need to remember that the journey towards alignment is a personal one. There is no one size fits all approach. And the key is to listen to your intuition, trust the process, and be patient with yourself. And so next week, we're going to be talking about, let me see what we're going to be talking about next week. Oh, yes, next week. Okay, hold on. I got to back up a little bit. It's not in my show notes. Well, we were living in sync this week. We're going to be actually talking about, I'm pulling it up, little funnies here. This is funny or not. Well, I don't know what we're going to be talking about next week, but anyway, stay tuned, because I'm sure it'll be magical. I think it has something to do with magic and alchemy. So let's talk about that, and maybe, realize that, and I'm ad-libbing right now, so who the heck knows? Oh, there we go. Thanks, Christine, for putting it there. Mind over matter, manifesting magic. God, that's 4 M's. So anyway, stay tuned next week. We're going to talk about creating more magic in your life. And you know what? Just be kind to yourself. We're going through lots right now. Self-compassion is a biggie. And if you need anything from me, reach out to me. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and I will respond to you quickly. You could email me at Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Stay tuned and see you next week.
Thank you for listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. Dr. Dolores returns Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Until then, remember to be kind to yourself and create your best life. You are worth it.